When Tyler and I first met, I wasn't exactly looking for a relationship, but Tyler had very different plans for him and I'm glad that he did. He constantly pursued me and made me feel special and loved, and did the same thing for my dog Charlie and my family, and that meant the world to me. That family meant as much to him as it did to me, and he quickly became a constant in my life and a main support system. For the first year of our relationship, we spent most of it long distance. He was out in Arizona and New Mexico, and I was back in Virginia. So I split up most of my time flying out to see Tyler in Arizona, and then also my grandpa, who's on hospice. When my grandpa did end up passing, Tyler took the red eye that Friday and met me back home. And he beat me home after I got back from the funeral and spent 24 hours with me to make sure that I wasn't alone. And he was there for me the first night that I was back. And that's really when I knew that I wanted to marry Tyler and spend my life with him, because he was willing to fly across country and spend only 24 hours with me, and one of the hardest times in my life. And I know I can always count on him and his love and support, and that just means the world to me. Tyler's love has obviously affected my life significantly, and as I mentioned before, he is always willing to drop anything and everything to be there for me and support me on the good days, bad days, and everything in between. He's so kind-hearted, has such a happy demeanor, and is so quick to forgive. He really exhibits a Christ-like love and has such a childlike faith that just positively impacts everybody in the world around him. I was lucky enough to work with him for a short time at a hospital that I worked at, and Tyler had such a impressive way at making patients smile on some of the worst days of their life. He just has that effect on others, and being able to see the good in everyone and everything, and really makes me a better person and everyone around him as well. Ava Laurenne was actually the first and only bridal shop that I went to, off of a great recommendation from my good friend Rachel, who is also an Ava Laurenne bride and looked absolutely beautiful and stunning in her dress. Going into the experience, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect. Growing up, I was always a tomboy, playing sports with boys, my hair in a ponytail, slicked back with a gel and all. So I never really grew up dreaming of what my wedding day or wedding dress might look like. But as soon as I stepped through the doors at Ava Laurenne, I was so welcomed and loved by all the consultants, and especially Katie. They were all just so helpful and helping me hone in on what exactly I was looking for, and helping me feel so beautiful and special for this important day. Finding my dress at Ava Laurenne was one of the most special days of my life. I was blessed to spend it with my parents, my sister, one of my grandmas, and also my consultant Katie, who was there for me the entire journey. I actually came into the salon twice. The first time I came in was really a great day to find a basis of what style I was looking for. And I was a little indecisive, so I took some time and a few days to think about it, and ended up coming back in, and the first dress I tried on was the dress, and it was just so beautiful. It made me feel the most beautiful that I've ever felt, and I knew from the second that I tried it on that this would be the dress that I would marry Tyler in. And after I said yes to the dress, we were able to share some really special time together as a family, as Ava Laurenne has this beautiful sitting area, and everyone gets to share special experiences that they've had with me and relationship advice moving forward into a marriage. And it was just such a special, sentimental day that I will cherish forever. My best advice to brides looking for their gown is to be themselves, but also be open to all sorts of styles. When I first went into Ava Laurenne, I said I'll try on everything but strapless. And by the end of the appointment, I tried on a strapless dress, and it was one of my favorite dresses from the day. So definitely be open to different styles, but also be true to yourself and your personality, and just enjoy the ride while you're here. You only get to be a bride once, so let yourself be doted on and let yourself feel special and loved, because you deserve to feel that way. I think changing the world is a ripple effect that starts with each individual person. I think it's very important to seek the good in everyone and everything, even if the situation doesn't always present itself as good. I think it's important to seek positivity and kindness while also keeping in mind that it's important to speak up and take action when things around us are not okay and do need change. I think it's also important to be advocates for those around us that aren't able to advocate for themselves. Jesus really gives us the perfect representation of what love is, and I think it's important to be his hands and feet while we're on this earth and making a difference in the lives of those around us and the world in general.